Now to discuss the legal implications of this, the implications for police. Retired Los Angeles Police Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey and defense attorney Caroline Polisi. Caroline, I wonder if I could begin with you. You spent a lot of time in the courtroom. Were you surprised by guilty verdicts both on first and second degree manslaughter here?
So, Jim, I was surprised, frankly, not because I think the jurors got it wrong on the law, but because honestly, this has been traditionally the type of prosecution that has been difficult for prosecutors to get a guilty verdict on. It's just the truth. And so I think here, you saw the state AG have to go back when this originally wasn't indicted and add that top charge of the first degree manslaughter. This case was hard. Nobody was arguing that Kim Potter intentionally did this act. And so I think that, there is a real difference here between, as you were just noting, say, the Derek Chauvin trial. Kimberly Potter's case was much different. And I think that it is true that the bigger picture here shows that jurors are willing to hold police officers accountable, even in the context where it was a mistake.
Yeah, notable. Sergeant Dorsey, I wonder, in your experience, are police departments, are police commanders around the country looking at the results, not just of this case, but the Derek Chauvin case, again, very different circumstances, but two cases where juries held police officers criminally responsible in ways that juries haven't always have, right? I wonder, do you see police departments looking at this, watching and listening?
Well, this should certainly give them pause. But whenever there's an incident, police departments typically, what we do is debrief. And so this trial is no different. You want to look at what the officers could do differently going forward. What do we need to do in terms of changing our policies and procedures so that we don't have another incident like this? And so while I'm surprised, I thought the jury was going to hang on this. I'm glad that they came to the verdict that they did. I think it was the right verdict. And now we'll have to wait and see what happens with sentencing.
You raise an issue there, Sergeant Dorsey, which goes to policies, right? Because these are individual trials. It's policies that affect the broader behavior of officers of the law. And I wonder, Sergeant Dorsey, if we could step back for a moment to remember why Daunte Wright was stopped, right? He was stopped because he had one of those Christmas tree-shaped, I believe, deodorants on his rearview mirror, which is against the law, I believe, locally there because it might be distracting to the driver. But, yet another case, and it's not the first time we've seen this, of a traffic stop for something not violent that leads to a violent encounter. Do police, Sergeant Dorsey, have to look at those policies for when and how they stop people?
Well, we have great deference and autonomy in terms of traffic stops. And while that's a violation, it certainly is here in California. You've heard the term pretext stop. Those are those little ticky-tack Mickey Mouse things that give an officer a reason to stop a particular individual, somebody who generally looks like me, when you wouldn't ordinarily stop someone. And so we have a young man who lost his life because he was driving in a car that they thought wasn't registered, maybe wasn't registered, and had an air freshener hanging from his rearview mirror. Yeah. And then to say that it was his fault because he didn't comply and tried to run, they knew who he was. They had run his license plate. They could have followed up at his house. This wasn't even a misdemeanor. This was an infraction. Yeah. And this should have never occurred.
Yeah, you made that point before on the air, I remember, saying they knew where he was. It didn't have to happen at that moment. Caroline, sentencing is going to happen in mid-February. In Minnesota, we know the maximums here, but we always have to take it into account the individual person here. If the person has no previous criminal history, the guidance is 6 to 8.5 years, I believe. When you look at the sentencing guidelines, do you have a sense of where this might go in terms of the total sentence?
So you're right. The judge will be bound by those guidelines and based off of certain characteristics of the defendant here. Ms. Potter has no previous offenses, so she's in a criminal history category that puts her in that lower level. But, Jim, we did hear the prosecution say that they were going to argue for aggravating factors, which essentially means they are going to be arguing for a longer sentence than typically would be seen in this type of case. And some of those aggravating factors include, we saw in that body camera footage, Kim Potter, immediately after she discharged her weapon, she did not seek to render aid. Instead, she sort of stepped back and really monopolized the other two officers at the scene with her own remorse and guilt. And certainly that remorse and guilt will be used by the defense, saying that, that should be a mitigating factor. But I think that the prosecutors have a point here that, she had a chance to render aid and she didn't do it.
Yeah, it's remarkable. I wonder, when we look at, again, other issues connected to this case, it's a training issue, right? Here's someone who served on the force for many years, Sergeant Dorsey, who mistook a firearm for a taser. And by the way, they are built to be different, right? Different colors, worn on different sides of the body, right? Consistently, different weights. Does this get to a training issue as well, do you think?
Listen, I don't buy the whole I didn't know what I had in my hand for a minute. Listen, we train and we practice looking down the barrel of a gun so that we line up our sights. And in those 4 or 5 seconds that she's yelling, taser, 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 she's looking down the barrel of that gun as we're trained to do, as she's done for 26 years, like I did for 20. And to think that she looked down the barrel of that gun and didn't realize that it wasn't yellow, that it wasn't a taser, the weight was different, and then fired it anyway is really inconceivable.
One other issue, and this had been a question, Caroline, was the testimony on the stand, testifying in her own defense, Kim Potter here, in effect, throwing herself on the mercy of the jury, saying, I'm deeply remorseful, crying on the stand there, but legally the trouble was, in effect, confirming that there was negligence involved, which is the standard for the first and second degree manslaughter charges. I wonder, in retrospect, was that a mistake by the defense?
Well, that's exactly right. And I think one of the real difficulties in this case has always been, there's a difference between the law and sort of your heart here. And I don't think people don't believe Kim Potter that she is remorseful. Clearly, we saw what's known in the law as an excited utterance. Right after she fired, she said something to the effect of, oh my gosh, I'm going to prison. I shot him. So clearly there was an acceptance of guilt. There was, nobody's trying to say here that this wasn't a mistake, which is why I think, it's sort of what issue of first impression for jurors to be able to put that aside, to be able to understand that, yes, this woman is remorseful, but that she nonetheless handled her firearm recklessly with a degree of criminal negligence.
Yeah, it's a deadly weapon, as we saw. Caroline Polisi, Sergeant Dorsey, thanks so much to both of you.
Thank you.
And coming up next this hour,